Hello, today we'll mainly be checking out a couple events of interest and Tropical Storm Nicole off the east coast of Florida. Alright, so there have been a few notable events in the past 3 days. Starting over here in Southern California, just off the coast of San Diego or near San Clementine Island. There was a magnitude 2.6 at a 5.8 kilometer depth. This was today at 05:13 local time. Now this is an interesting earthquake because it's out in the ocean off the coast and it's not around any other activity for the past 3 days. Now just south of that quake in the Gulf of California, on the 4th at 10:02 UTC, we saw a magnitude 6.1 at a default depth. Looking at the event page, it had 60 Did You Feel It reports. Looks like a MMI of at least 3.5 reached Hermosillo over here. Coming up here towards the Arctic Ocean or northern Canada, kind of approaching the North Pole. There was a magnitude 4.8 and a magnitude 4.7 on the 4th, and then just south of those, there was a magnitude 4.8. Now, all three of these earthquakes did trigger a tsunami statement, and they are interesting earthquakes because earthquakes usually do not occur in this region of Canada. Now, today at 02:01 UTC, we did see a magnitude 3.8 near Lake Pillsbury, California. Looks like there was 3 aftershocks, 2.5, a 2.0, and a 1.8. Coming over to the event page for the magnitude 3.8, it looks like it did create a shake alert, and it had 53 Did You Feel It responses. It looks like it picked it as a magnitude 3.8, 13.7 miles east of Willitus. And it took about 6 seconds for the system to pick up the earthquake from the earthquake starting. Now coming down here to warning times, if this was a stronger earthquake, Ukiah would have gotten about 5 seconds of warning, Santa Rosa would have gotten about 30 seconds of warning, and Sacramento would have gotten about 40 seconds of warning. Coming over here just west of Yellowstone near the Salmon River Mountains. Today at 04:14 UTC, there was a magnitude 3.6 in that area. On the event page, there was 4 Did You Feel It reports. Now coming down here to Walker, California, within the past hour, there was a magnitude 3.3 in that area. This area does occasionally see slight upticks in larger activity. Now, interestingly, coming over to a map of the North American craton. Now, the craton is basically plates within the plate. Anyway, we can see this purple deformed craton kind of has this little arm or finger. Just reaches over from Nevada into California, right into Walker. And this area, of course, does see some interesting seismic activity. Now going over to the east coast of the United States, within the past 3 days, there was 3 earthquakes. Starting over here near Nantucket, there was a magnitude 2.1 on the 5th. This earthquake had 42 Did You Feel It reports. Next, coming up here into New Hampshire, next to Lake Winnipesaukee. This earthquake had 54 Did You Feel It reports and a weird magnitude rating. I have not seen MBLG before. Finally, coming up in Canada near New Brunswick, or just south of Deersdale and Napadogan. You can see this earthquake near Napadogan had 0 Did You Feel It reports and a reviewed status. Also had a 14 kilometers depth, so it was 4 kilometers deeper than usual. So I decided to come in this area a bit closer since it is a relatively small earthquake to be picked in Canada. Coming to the location, it was right underneath a clear cut in trees, which is most likely very high voltage power lines and a road. Now this is kind of an interesting clear cut because it's just so obvious and it goes for a while. Coming down to Central America on the 4th at 04:26, there was a magnitude 5.7 just off the coast of El Salvador. This had a MMI Did You Feel It of 5, along with 70 Did You Feel It reports. Let's come over here to Indonesia. It seems like they've had quite a few 5s in the past couple of days, including one with a null location, which is always interesting. Null basically means no data, or there was an error somewhere, so, there's actually 2 null earthquakes. So null means there's supposed to be data there, but in order for the thing to work and not just crash completely, the null is replaced automatically, so it reads something. Null earthquakes aren't common. Now, just today at 03:25, there was a magnitude 5.4 on the Afghanistan-Tajikistan border region. This had a MMI of 4 for Did You Feel It, and 3 Did You Feel It reports. Finally, just a quick view of Hawaii. There has been no major activity in the past couple of days. The largest earthquake was a magnitude 3.7 near Mauna Loa. Coming over to the NHC, we continue to see mini storms developing in the Atlantic. They look at subtropical storm Nicole, which is currently forecasted to impact the east coast of the United States. So a summary of their summary. They forecast storm surge for Georgia, Florida, and the Bahamas. And they have a very interesting point here. They say, quote, "Do not focus on the exact track of Nicole, since it is expected to be a large storm with hazardous extending well north of the center." So basically, I think they're saying that because of that last major hurricane that ran into Florida. They want to tell residents that just because you're not in the direct path doesn't mean that you are not in danger. With that said, looking at the track, it looks like it will impact the Bahamas around 8 a.m. Wednesday and will impact Florida around 8 p.m. Wednesday to 8 a.m. Thursday. Also on the NHC, they say hurricane watch is in effect for northwestern Bahamas. And with that being said, here is another public advisory. A hurricane watch has been issued for the east coast of Florida. Currently, the NHC is tracking one other system, disturbance number 1, and currently has a 60% chance of forming a cyclone in the next 48 hours. And this is quite a bit northeast of Nicole. The NHC defines this as a well-defined area of low pressure just east of Bermuda. Coming over to windy, looking at the NHC track for Tropical Storm Nicole. They do forecast it to be a Category 1 hurricane by landfall in Florida. And even though they said not to look at the exact track, the track does look interesting here. It looks like it's going to reach northern Florida and then make a sharp turn to the right and follow the coast. Thank you for checking out today's video. We'll end it with some satellite imagery of Tropical Storm Nicole.
Thank you.